And welcome to ABC News 4 at 7 on this Thursday evening. We want to get straight to your forecast. Our storm tracker meteorologist Sonia Stevens joining us with more on how things are looking now.
And conditions will continue to improve as we head through tonight. We've slowly seen that happening throughout the afternoon from south to north. Here's what it looks like in the Charleston Harbor right now with the Ravenel Bridge in the background. Clearly those winds still very gusty, and we're also still seeing rain. But this is a big improvement from what we saw around midday today. As far as the latest on Hurricane Dorian, it's still a Category 2, still hanging on to that strength. Winds of 105 miles per hour, moving northeast at 10. So it's taking a little bit more of that easterly component with the turn, and it's moving a little bit quicker at 10 miles per hour. Currently located 55 miles southeast of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and will continue on its path toward the north and east, which means they're going to be feeling impacts in parts of eastern North Carolina as we head through the rest of tonight. As far as what we're looking at, we are seeing those rain bands spiraling slowly out of the area. Notice those rain bands moving from north to south. Still light to moderate rain, Summerville, Moncks Corner, Charleston. Heavier rain where they're not as far from the center. McClellanville, Georgetown there, and that's where they're also going to see some of the gustier winds as well. Those tropical storm force wind gusts still occurring at times there. But we are seeing that rain slowly moving out as the center pulls away from South Carolina. As we head through the next couple of hours, we'll still see some of the outer edges of the hurricane, but by 10 o'clock, most of us getting a chance to dry out, and those winds will also start to relax a bit by midnight. Still dealing with some rain probably around Georgetown, and then as we head into the overnight hours, everybody gets a chance to dry out. Those clouds clear out, but those winds still a little bit breezy. As far as your hour by hour, those showers really going to be ending by around, say, 9 o'clock in Charleston. As you head up toward Georgetown, like I said, those showers probably hanging on for a couple hours after that, closer to midnight. And then those skies won't clear until probably closer to 5, 6 a.m. Those temperatures falling into the lower 70s. And then the big story goes from Dorian to the heat, which may be uncomfortable as a lot of people across the low country without power. So we'll talk about how hot it's going to be this weekend and when we'll see our next chance for rain, which hopefully isn't anytime soon.
All right, in Berkeley County, that cleanup is just beginning.
A lot of damage is being reported after Hurricane Dorian brushed the low country.
Angela Brown joining us live from where apparently a tree fell on someone's home. Angela.
That's right. You got that right, Dean. A tree did fall on this folks' home, this family. Here's a tree right here. Probably some of the worst damage we've seen so far in Berkeley County. You can see the tree. You can see the roots right there, then follow it all the way up. And you can see it landed on this family's home. Now, I had a chance to speak with the homeowner. She told me this happened between 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. They were inside asleep when they heard this big crash, and they rushed outside to see what was going on. Now, you take a look at this tree. It's a rather large tree, but fortunately it didn't crack the roof, or at least it didn't get into the house. That area where it hit was their dining room area, their Florida room area. Now, we have been in between these live shots, driving around Berkeley County, just trying to sum up exactly what is going on here. And what we are seeing are like spotty areas of debris. We're not seeing debris as large as this or problems as large as this. We're seeing like branches down on the road. We're also seeing like some of the power lights are still on, the signal lights are off. And there's some people here without power. At last check, last time I got on the internet, there were thousands of people without power, including the people who live out here. I know Sonia was talking about the heat and it getting hotter over the next couple days. People obviously are hoping their power will come back on and the AC will come back on, but that seems to be an issue right now for a lot of families here in Berkeley County, just not having any electricity. And these folks here actually left their house. What we're going to do is we're going to spend more time here in Berkeley County driving around to different communities to see what was going on, especially with the power, because I've been reading online there are communities, subdivisions, whole subdivisions without power. We're going to check out some of those areas and bring you a live report coming back here at 11 o'clock. Back to you.
All right, Angela, thank you.
Yeah, joining us right now on the phone, Georgetown County official Jackie Broach-Akers.
Jackie, good evening to you. Fill us in on how things are looking there in Georgetown County during this now 7 o'clock hour.
I think the worst is finally over. We've still got some localized flooding. We have started some very preliminary damage assessments, and we'll be doing a lot more of that tomorrow as soon as the sun is back up. I know that we're going to be expecting beach erosion. We've still got downed trees and power lines and widespread power outages. We currently have more than 10,000 power outages in the county.
Is there a particular area within the county that maybe saw more damage than another?
Well, the coastal areas, obviously, our beaches took a beating. They always do during this kind of storm. I know that I saw some video from Devido where it looks like their storm surge was just really terrifying. I think we've also had some breaches in the Litchfield area and possibly Garden City. And then, of course, we also always have flooding in the city of Georgetown around Winyah Bay.
You talk about damage reports. Is most of it just trees down, but creating structural damage?
Mostly it seems like we have blocked roads. I have not heard a whole lot about structural damage yet, but we'll know more about that tomorrow once we are further into our damage assessment. We'll also be sending out information to help residents, report their damage to us so that we have a better idea of where to look and can start adding up totals for how much damage was caused monetarily.
And finally, one last question, just to speak to the people of Georgetown County tonight. What is your message you'd like to pass along?
As I just said, there are a lot of downed trees, a lot of downed power lines. It's going to be even harder to see those once the sun goes down. So please don't pick tonight to go look around and try and scope out damage. Leave that to us, and stay indoors tonight. Stay off the roads. Just stay safe, and if you do insist on going out, avoid flooded roadways. Don't try and drive through floodwaters. It's so hard to gauge how deep they are, and please never remove road barricades. Those are there for a reason.
Jackie, one last question, and maybe out of your purview, but any word around town officials about school? Would the Georgetown County schools go back on Monday, or would you wait till Tuesday?
We have not heard anything about that yet, so I'm not sure. I know county offices are opening back tomorrow, but it'll be at least Monday before we see schools open again.
Very good. Jackie Broachacres, thanks for your time today. Good luck over the next couple days.
Thank you.
All right, the wind's still pretty strong out there right now.
Our Brody Hart downtown, where two trees are on top of an apartment complex.
Yeah, we got two trees down here on apartments right along Rutledge Avenue downtown. Take a look at this one right here. You can see it is pretty much just leaning at a diagonal angle up against these apartments. These are off of Rutledge Avenue, right beside MUSC and across from the Ashley Hall Girls School. You can see up top, this wind is really picking up right now. It's really blowing these trees. It's not hard to understand why these two trees got cut in half. There's the other one over on the far side. You can see it's basically split in half vertically, just laying in pieces on top of the other side of that apartment. We got two big trees in the middle here that seem to be doing okay, but the thing is, not an isolated incident at all. This is happening all throughout downtown Charleston. Not just trees, a lot of debris, a lot of flooding, of course. We know that's going to happen downtown. Definitely seeing that here this afternoon. We're going to kind of drive around and give you a better idea of it in the next few minutes, but for now, we're downtown. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Brody, thanks so much. Take a look at this. If a tree falls in Mount Pleasant and someone's recording it, does it make a sound? Well, not in slow motion. Oh, my goodness. What are you doing? Celebrating the death of a tree. Was that a beep I heard there, too? That's crazy. Good stuff. Thanks for sending that in. All right, we have some pictures we want to share with you, too.
Oh, my God.
Hold, please. They're way over here. What do we got? Oh, I tell you what, if we've seen one tree falling, we've seen a million of them. Did that get the house? Wagner Terrace downtown? This pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Double hurricane flags are out. Not one, but two. You know what else is out? Our air conditioner in here. Now this is what I call like just prepping for the storm, right? When people say the term hunkering down.
She knows how to do it.
Right? This is hunkering down.
Do you notice what she's wearing? I believe that is a mermaid tail.
Oh, it is. It's a mermaid tail sleeping
Blanket.
bag.
Yes, that's.
Is it a sleeping bag?
She's rocking it pretty well. That's impressive.
That's really good.
I like
good
it.
pickup. What else we got? Okay, we've seen one of those, seen 1,000 of them. We got, and this is what's going to be crazy. It's going to be just a cleanup around your homes, right? This is Magnolia Drive. Is that West Ashley, maybe? Or Dorchester? Either or, be fine. I mean, we've got. You better have some brown bags, getting ready for all those pine needles, limbs, everything out. If you need any help, give me a call. I'll send my kids over.
Are they outside cleaning up your yard?
No, they're at the.
They better get a head start on your yard. if they're
No,
doing others.
they're at the beach.
No, they're not.
One of them is. When you feel safe, send us your pictures, send us your videos, head to abcnews4.com/chime in. Send them to our ABC News 4 app. I know we used that yesterday. Wasn't it
That's
awesome?
so great.
Yeah, I thought
Sweet.
she was thinking about attacking the headless
Yes.
Gumby person right there.
All right, right now, this tree is blocking a lane on Mathis Ferry Road. That is in Mount Pleasant. And this is why town leaders say you should not travel just yet, unless you need to, because there are still maybe dangerous debris blocking the roadways. ABC News 4 at 7 continues right after this. transformer blowing. It happened overnight in the city of Charleston. You can see the sky lighting up as it blows. At first look, it looks just to appear like lightning, but it wasn't. In fact, a transformer.
Dangerous conditions downtown. This is wild video, right? See that down power line? I believe that's Market Street. Exactly why officials urge people not to leave their homes unless they absolutely had to. Certainly not to risk your life, the lives of others who would have to come and take care of you. And tonight we're joined by Charleston Mayor John Tecklenburg. You two have been extremely busy over the last 3 days. When you look back over the last couple of days, what was done right by your city that you're pleased about?
Well, we got ready, and our citizens, I'm thankful to them for staying out of harm's way. A lot of people left town, but a lot of people really hunkered down, batten down the hatches. And so by staying out of harm's way and staying off the streets, that really helped our response for our police and fire department, our first responders, that they weren't unnecessarily going out because, you know, joyriders are out there trying to take a look at things or whatever.
Talk about the next step for city crews and what's happening tonight and into tomorrow.
So next step is recovery. We're past preparation, we're past response, because now Dorian, thankfully, has left the door, and recovery is next. So there's a whole series of activities, from opening up streets that are currently closed, fixing street lights. We've got over 50 of those that are damaged, or a couple of them are actually broken, missing. We've got calls for 150 trees to be removed. There's a lot of power lines down, and of course over half of our citizens in Charleston County were without power today. So we've got some recovery work to do in conjunction with the utilities, but our city crews will be looking at stormwater, debris pickup, fixing traffic lights, getting those streets clear and open again. So we're asking our citizens to still be patient a little bit and try to stay in and stay home until we can get things back in order.
Governor McMaster lifted evacuation for Jasper, Beaufort, and I believe Colleton County today. You expect Charleston sometime tomorrow he'll make that announcement?
Well, that's a decision he'll make, and I think he'll have a recommendation from the county about that. I think it was appropriate to wait, however, because of those conditions that I just mentioned about the roadways and all the folks being out of power. So why rush home if you come to a place where there's no power on and the streets you know, aren't fully open yet? So waiting a day is a very smart thing.
Good.
School closed Friday, also city offices.
That's correct.
And possibly Monday. We're still waiting to hear.
We'll be fully open on Monday, and we'll be fully in recovery mode tomorrow. There's no question about that. But our normal permitting and things like that will be closed for one more day while we get up and running.
CCSD go through you at all about recommendations whether they should open Monday?
We do consult with the school district and the county on a daily basis whenever there's a storm or emergency going on, absolutely. So I just also want to shout out to all our first responders. Not just fire and police, and they are critical. They are incredible, but also in a storm like this, first responders also means the people out there putting the pumps out, the people out there who are going to be fixing the street lights and getting the roads open. All of these recovery efforts, I want to thank all those that are involved. They're quite a team. They're doing a great job.
You know what also dawned on me today, Mayor? And maybe it was yesterday too. There's sometimes, you may have heard this or not, that the media gets a bad rap, right? I know, right?
Y'all have done a great job.
Some people say that we're fake media. I don't know. But when stuff like this goes on, guess what's needed?
You got to get the word out. That's right.
All the stations in town, our station, we had reporters, photographers out in the elements all day long. Our meteorology team, all three stations have been up all night long. Poor Dave, he dissipated like this storm just about an hour ago. You know, so
it's a real public service, and thank you.
Great team effort by a lot of people.
Keeping us informed. Absolutely.
Thank you, Mayor, for your help. We greatly appreciate it. Good to see you as always.
We're thankful, counting our blessings.
You want to go do weather? Just walk right over there by Sonia. She's ready to go.
We'll send things to her.
We track storms with Storm Tracker meteorologist Sonia Stevens.
I mean, if the mayor of Charleston wants to do weather, who am I to stop him? All right, let's kind of recap some of the impacts we had from Hurricane Dorian. We talked about we were going to have tropical storm winds widespread across the area. Here's the proof that we did indeed see that. Dewey's Island, a 92-mile-per-hour gust and 86-mile-per-hour gust up around Georgetown near Winyah Bay. And then Charleston Harbor, an 80-mile-per-hour wind gust. And then we had those winds gusting around 66 on Sullivan's Island, Folly Beach, right around the same ballpark, 67. And even as far inland as Somerville, we had that wind gusting to 44 miles per hour. So with those wind gusts, that's resulted in those downed trees and those power outages. And I still think it's not out of the question that we could see a few more downed trees because the ground is saturated and we're still seeing some of those gusty winds. As far as how much rain we racked up, look at McClellanville, just over 10 inches. Mount Pleasant not far behind, close to 9 inches, over 8.5 inches in Cainhoy. Up on Daniel Island, just over 7 1/10 inches. Charleston International Airport, 5.36 inches, and Chatham-Moss over in West Ashley, just over 5 inches. And we're not done with the rain yet, although for some of us, we're not going to add much to those totals. Here is the official track on Dorian. It is still a Category 2, but is expected to weaken over the next several days as it makes its way further north in the Atlantic. So that movement off toward the northeast at 10 miles per hour. They're going to see very similar conditions to what we saw in eastern North Carolina as they're expected to get brushed by the western side of the storm as well. Notice it weakens as we head into our Saturday, and again, it races off through the Atlantic. As far as those storm reports, did want to give you an idea. Everywhere there's a spot, that's where we had some reports of damage or flooding. In fact, 82 to be exact, but 58 of those because of those tropical storm conditions. So a few to point out. Picked one in St. George because that's kind of some of the outlying areas where we saw damage from Dorian. Had a report of a tree down there, and then in Moncks Corner, multiple road closures because of downed trees and power lines. But look at where most of the storm reports are focused. Not even so much just in the Tri-County area, but really through central Charleston County. So this was especially a coastal event for us. The center of Dorian, as we know, passed about 40 to 50 miles off our coast around midday. But we saw the worst of the impacts focused right along the coast. On the backside of the system, we're still dealing with rain, lighter rain, spots like Hollywood, West Ashley through Somerville into Moncks Corner. Still some moderate rain falling, though, around McClellanville as you head up toward Georgetown. And again, that rain moving from north to south as the center of the storm makes its way and they start to feel those impacts in eastern North Carolina. But it continues on that northeasterly trek. It's picked up a little bit of speed, too, by the way. 75 right now in Charleston. Those winds sustained out of the west-northwest at 29 miles per hour, sustained at 26 in Georgetown, and winds still gusting at 47 in Georgetown. So there's a tropical storm force wind gust right there. We're just under that criteria in Charleston. But see, it's still gusty, that wind still gusting up to 38 miles per hour. As Dorian pulls away, guess what? That rain will slowly be shutting off by midnight. Maybe still some rain around Georgetown, Horry counties as you head up toward the Grand Strand. But again, we're going to see those drying conditions, and that will allow us to clean up in the coming days. As high pressure settles in, though, we're looking at some hot temperatures. So showers ending, clearing skies, lows in the lower to middle 70s, and then tomorrow sunny and hot. It will be time to clean up. Those highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s, and we'll stay hot right through the weekend. Small rain chances next week. We're back after this.
7 a.m. SC State back to class on Monday.
Two good pieces of news. We leave you with this live look right now of Frying Pan Tower in North Carolina. Those waves still whipping around. We'll see you at 11.